I think we're live. Hello,
Awesome.
everybody. This is Kristie Mathews, and I'm here today with Evelyn Keller. She's a fabulous marketer, and I'm so delighted to have her here today. I mean, she's just been so fun watching your evolution over the last couple of years and learned so much from you. And so thank you, Evelyn, for being here today and be willing to share your wisdom with our audience. And uh, I don't know, it's just really cool to have you here. So thank you so much. Today, we wanted to talk a little bit about Facebook because, you know, Facebook is something that is in all of our lives, and it's just going to have a bigger presence overall. But we'll get to that in just a few moments. But Evelyn, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into this space in the first place?
Awesome. Yes, definitely. Thank you so much for inviting me and for having me on with you today, Kristie. I really appreciate this and love the opportunity to share a little bit about what I have learned. I actually started out in network marketing way back in 1984 was my first experience with network marketing. And it was, guess, good old Amway. That's how I got started with it. Many people did back then.
Right.
And I love the concept right from the beginning, the idea of residual income and a different way of bringing products to the people through experiences and that whole personal relationship thing. I got that message right away. And really, I have tried a few different companies over the years and had a fair amount of success with different companies. But as we all know, the MLM space is a little bit fluent. Some companies don't stick around as long as we would like them to. Amazing products, right? So that is really what got me into it, was the quality of the product, the possibilities that we have with it. And over the last few years, I have worked in health and wellness. So my full-time job is in the health and wellness industry. And I found a company that I am working with that is operating in the same industry. So I have my primary company is in health and wellness. And I love what we do and how we do it. But I needed to learn how to get outside of my family and friends and the 3-foot rule kind of thing.
Oh, yeah, the 3-foot rule.
that we're all taught, make a list and all that. So much fun, but then what do you do, right? So I was searching online, and a friend of mine that I had been communicating with, she talked to me about MLSP and how to learn about how to do our business, our home business online, how to use social media, and that they're teaching all of this. So when I found out that there is kind of like a Harvard University for home business, right? Like, oh my God, that makes so much sense. Why spending so much time in learning everything myself and having to go and research it, when there's a way that we can really plug in with people that are absolutely phenomenal, they have the experience, and learn from them. So that is what got me into working online mostly, and I have been online now for about almost 3 years now.
Excellent.
Yeah.
We share similar stories as well as searching. You know, I think we come online to find the fastest pathway to accomplish the goals that we've set out to accomplish. Let me turn that thing off. Oh my goodness. Excuse me for just a moment. Yeah, and it's this environment that you just talked about. It allows us to go from point A to point Z without really having to do all of that in between. It really shortens the learning curve. Although there is a learning curve, we definitely have to do the work, don't we? But we're learning from others who have definitely pioneered that process before us and have shortened that learning curve.
Yeah,
so definitely agree with you on that one. So like most other marketers, you use Facebook as one of your primary sources of staying in touch with people and communicating and getting your message out. Is that right?
Yes, definitely. I have chosen Facebook as my primary social media strategy to grow my business completely. And I can tell you, it has made a huge difference in the way that I do my business, how I communicate with people. And Facebook is just such an all comprehensive tool that allows you not only to talk about your products and services in an appropriate way, but also to connect with people, and using Facebook Messenger to really talk with them now with the video options.
Right.
It just brings everything together.
It's such a versatile platform. Why did you choose Facebook over all of the others?
My skills is the communication and the talking with people part. And Facebook gives, for me, was a medium that I was already using on a personal level.
Right.
And I had already established connection with people, had a small network. And it was just for me a natural transition to stay within the same platform and use that as my primary. And yes, I have a Twitter account and I have an Instagram account, but I have those more kind of like automated on the side.
Right. Yeah.
But my main focus for my business, for generating leads, for building relationships,
right,
is Facebook.
Where you hang out.
Yes, that's where I hang out.
So hanging out on Facebook quite a bit, and I know we've talked offline about this many times, is that there are some mistakes that marketers commonly make on Facebook, and we've talked about that quite a bit. Would you mind sharing what some of those mistakes are that marketers make when they come on to Facebook?
Yes, definitely. The biggest mistakes that I have seen and that I'm teaching the people that I'm coaching and that I'm working with is how to have a profile set up properly, and what to say and what not to say on Facebook. And the what not to say is actually more important, really,
Yes.
because you don't want to wash your dirty laundry on Facebook.
Right.
If you have issues with something or somebody, take it off of Facebook, not necessarily on Facebook. If you are using your Facebook page for your business, it's not the place where you want to have negative information or have a lot of controversy, or actually even posting a lot of links of your business where you're directly, blatantly just really promoting your products and services. Go here to buy and go here to do this, and purchase from me, buy now, special sale, yay, right? All of these things, don't put them directly on your Facebook profile, because people that want to contact you, they will check out your Facebook profile. And if they see that that's your main focus is just like talking only about business, you're not providing value, you're not giving back to the community and helping people, they will most likely not reach out to you or want to establish a relationship with you.
Yeah.
So definitely, those are some of the things that you should avoid. Just negativity, too many posts, and that would be the two major things would be those.
Yeah, and there is a distinction between having your profile page and a business page. Once upon a time, we only had profile pages to work with, and now there is a fan page, and there is a distinction between both of them. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah. I started my fan page or my business page, when I actually got serious about promoting my business online. And I love what we can do with fan pages compared to what we can do with a business page. And I know we're going to talk a little bit more about the advertising side of it, but Facebook is very strict on what they want their users to experience when you're using their interface. So on your personal page, they don't really like to see business stuff. They want to be social, right? Because that's what it is. It's a social media, And they want people to interact with each other, comment on posts, have conversations, and stuff like that. That's what they want you to use your personal page for.
Right.
Your fan page or your business page is where they are far more lenient about what it is that you can post.
Right.
The information that you can put on there, if you have a little bit more business related content, that is the place to put it. Still not blatantly posting your links all over the place, but still there's more that you can do with the fan page side of it, from an advertising perspective, from boosting posts, from having a defined target audience. There's so much more that you can do on a fan page. So if you are seriously thinking about having an online business, I say having a business page on Facebook is an absolute must.
Yes, I agree too. You know, in my own experience, I've learned that actually separating the two, having your profile page allows people to see a little bit more about your other part of you, you know, your non-business side of you. They might be able to see what some of your likes and interests are outside of your business, and that allows an opportunity for people to get to know you. And because of some similarities, like maybe riding motorcycles or being hiking or doing yoga, you know, being into cooking or whatever the case is, that may not be, you know, shown on a Facebook fan page, for instance. And like you say, people do come and visit the profile page first before they go over, if they even link over to where your fan page might be. So they are coming to check you out and see if there's some sort of commonalities before they even look into your business.
Yes, definitely. And there is a proper way of setting up your personal page too,
Right.
where you do want to have those links to your business page on there, and how to set up your about, and really what kind of information you should have where. And those are all things that when I'm working with my coaching clients, that we go over right in the beginning. Those are the first few steps to do. It's like, okay, let's set up your page in a way that not only gives it the amount of information that you want, because there's some things that you might want to keep personal, right? I have a very big family and personal friends network that I have managed to still have on my Facebook profile, but I don't communicate everything publicly to everybody, especially when it comes to some family stuff, right? So there's ways that you can use and limit who sees what. So having all these settings set up properly is important to do if you are running your business properly on Facebook.
You know, and just as an aside, anybody who's watching this right now, Evelyn and a couple of other colleagues and I had done a workshop series, and I can attest to this, that Evelyn was such a great instructor on demonstrating how all of this is done. So just want to share with you that if you are having some difficulty with this, I encourage you to reach out to Evelyn and get together with her, and she can help you with this and get you set up the right way with your Facebook page, because reach is everything within Facebook right now. And as we all know, there is somebody keeping an eye on things and how many people get to see our stuff. You know, we're putting things out there and we're thinking that a lot of people are seeing our post and our material, but there is somebody throttling that and keeping control over it. And there are ways to up the reach if we follow the rules. And Evelyn is a master at this. So anyway, you know, just kind of going along in this same vein, we've talked one thing that's going on right now that makes me laugh is we're mutual friends of one of, I think she's one of your favorite mentors as well, a lady named Diane Hockman. Mm-hmm. And she's doing a summer school right now. And this lady can drum up a lot of activity. And when she does, some people get a little bit in trouble with some of their posting activities like we're talking about here. Mm-hmm. And they can get themselves into Facebook jail or some time out. And when I was a brand new marketer and I fell into that trap and I've ended up in a Facebook jail myself. And, you know, I've learned to correct my ways. But Evelyn, can you share some information on what is Facebook jail or a timeout? How do we get in there, and how can we avoid getting into Facebook jail and or sitting in the Facebook corner? You know?
Facebook, right?
Right.
When I first heard about Facebook jail, it had me really laughing. Like, okay, just a second here, Facebook jail. Right?
It's funny until it happens to you.
For a marketer,
Right.
it is a serious situation.
It
If
is.
you are using Facebook as your main strategy of generating leads, and Facebook is inhibiting you from posting in groups or from interacting with people or commenting on things, that really puts a damper on your business, right? And just like you, when I first experienced that, it was a 2-week period.
Oh, wow.
I was slammed with a 2-week period where I was not able to post in groups.
Oh,
And I was not able to comment on things. And so what happens is, as we mentioned, or as we talked about, Facebook is a social network. So when people report that somebody is excessively posting in groups or posting content that is against the Facebook guidelines, right, they will put a block on you. They will prevent you from posting or from commenting, mostly in groups. But it even happens on Messenger. If you copy a specific link too often in Messenger chats, they will block you from using Messenger.
Right.
At first, sometimes they'll give you a warning, and you'll have to click on images.
Sure.
See that that's a real person, right? That is doing the interacting. But if you continue, they will block you.
Right.
So there are guidelines that Facebook has put in place, and they have them on the website. Anybody who is doing this, as I said, check the guidelines that Facebook has put in place and adhere by them. I found that when you're first starting out using Facebook groups to post content or information or some training or some good value, even if it's good value, do it slowly.
Right.
Post in a few groups at a time. Don't add too many groups at the same time either. Don't join too many of them at the same time. Keep it, I would say, maybe to 5 to 10 max, and then slowly increase your numbers over a period of time so that Facebook gets used to you doing this kind of activity.
Yes.
And really work with them and get used to what they want us to do. Because if you lose access to it, then it is a whole lot of trouble to have to regenerate a profile and reset everything up, and it can be very difficult. Guidelines are there to be read.
Yes. Yes.
And they have them there, so take advantage of that information, and get together with somebody that can tell you and teach you a little bit more about how to do it and what they have done. Having a coach, having a mentor, somebody that, if you're in an MLM, your upline, if they're using social media and your business has policies, those are always things that are absolutely important to adhere. There are companies out there that do not like having the name of the company even mentioned on Facebook, right? So make sure that as an individual, as a responsible business owner, you are aware of what the guidelines are that the company has, and then that the tools have that you're using to stay out of jail.
That's true. And you mentioned that Facebook gives you warnings. They're not going to come right out and say, you're posting in too many groups, or we don't like the link that you're putting out. They give you warnings by a CAPTCHA, for instance, and having you click on pictures or whatnot, or having to type in some letters. That's your warning. That's your, I'm going to count to 10, And if you don't do what you're told, you're going to go to the corner, that type of thing. And you need to, if you're not sure what's happening, reach out to somebody who may have more experience than you in that arena and ask them what's happening. Just don't go willy-nilly and hit the CAPTCHA and move on, because they will shut you down. And, you know, one of the other things that you mentioned that I've run across, I think one of the things that happen in groups is that you do need to read the group description.
Yes.
There's many, you know, we call them spam groups. And one of the ways you can find out it's a spam group is when there's thousands of people that are members of them. And they'll tell you that you can advertise your business in there, but they don't want you to advertise it maybe more than once or twice a day. And if the administrator sees that your post is in there every hour or multiple, you know, more than the times that are allowed, you can get reported, even though it is a quote unquote spamming group or a group that you can drop your advertising into. So there are a lot of ways that you can get into Facebook jail, but it's so simple if we just read the guidelines, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Reading and adhering by them is very important. And as you mentioned, there's groups that have different activities that you can do on different days.
Yes.
In some groups, you can only post your links on a certain day of the week.
Right.
Or by using a hashtag of some form, right? Or something like that. So yeah, the group descriptions is another important part to definitely be aware of before you join them even.
Yeah, and they could be helpful, but you got to follow the rules.
Yes, yeah.
Definitely. You know, do you have any sense on how many posts per day that should be going onto the page? You know, the quality of post. What is your opinion on that? I've heard so many different opinions. Some say, you know, multiple times, post every hour. Some say, no, not necessary, post quality rather than quantity. What's your opinion on that?
Kristie, I have experienced both. I actually used to post about 5 times a day on my page. And I used to have a really good number of interactions. And then for a little while, I saw the number of interactions drop a little bit. And I actually reduced my number of posts that I'm doing per day. Now I'll do maybe 3,
right?
Sometimes 5, depending if there's something that comes up during my normal scheduled posts. But that's about the number that I would say. I would say put out more quality posts, value. And if you put out 3 posts a day, your reach is going to maintain. But it's also important that you interact with other people.
Yes.
That is very important to do, not only posting on your page and not just liking either. Facebook is looking at the time length that you spend on certain posts. Right. If there is text on it and you just scroll through your feed and you go like, it's not going to be as effective as if you really take a little bit of time of liking and commenting on posts as you go through your timeline. That will continue, maintain, and increase your reach when you do that. So posting, I would say post 3 times a day. And I post 3 times a day, definitely on my personal page. Sometimes I'll post 1 to 3 times a day on my fan page. And what you can also do is share it from one to the other. So you don't have to have 6 posts.
Right.
Completely different, but if you have a motivational quote or something like that you put on your personal page, why not share that over to your business page? Sure. People will see that you shared it from one to the other. And I share more often from my business page to my personal page with quotes. That way they will actually see the link of my business page in the post. And I've had interactions, a fair number of interactions of people that actually went back to my business page and liked my page and started to interact with me on that just because I had that link in there. So share your posts back and forth and get that interaction going between your 2 pages.
How's your feeling about sharing those quotes into the groups?
Oh, definitely. Definitely value posts like this. And for some reason, people really love the quotes. And I say for some reason, but I do too, right? The images and the motivational quotes and stuff like that, those are great for interaction with people. And people will comment on it and they will like it. And it is a great way of providing something else in a Facebook group than everybody else does. So if you're providing some positive, uplifting comments or images or jokes even, right?
Sure.
Putting a clean joke
Right.
into a Facebook group and have people interact with you on that, that is a good way too. And post it from your business page into groups.
Yes.
So you're always driving people back and forth in between them. So you get people to click on your links and see who you are. People check you out and they will see what you do. And definitely, I recommend doing that.
You know, yeah, because there's very little interaction in the marketing groups. I think more of the specific groups, you know, the ones that don't allow marketing, that are more, you know, you may have personal development groups and so forth. You know, they're very specific and have a special type of content sharing arrangement. But in the marketing groups, there's very little interaction. You might get very few likes on anything. And I think what you're just saying is that you're getting above the noise that's occurring, because all that noise is pitch, 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 pitch. And the other thing that you were saying is that Facebook likes you to stay on the platform. Mm-hmm. So the more that you can stay on Facebook, the happier they are. They don't want you leaving Facebook with a link and taking you off of the platform. Yeah. So I don't think they really care if you're going to your fan page, to your profile page, and going into groups. They just want you to stay within Facebook.
Yes, definitely.
Great message. Very good message. So I don't know if all of you picked that up, but I picked that up. So you talked a little bit about the kinds of things that should be shared on Facebook. What about like blog posts? We talked about quotes, blog posts. What other types of things are suitable for posting on maybe a business page? That, you know, profile pages, I think it's game on almost anything, but the business page in particular.
Yes, if you read an interesting article or you have a blog yourself, definitely, if it is appropriate or aligned with your business, share blog posts, get people reading material, anything that provides content and value. Right. That will keep a person on your page for a little bit. That is absolutely important. And yeah, a great resource. Blog posts, articles, even sharing content from other people. If somebody that you are connected with has shared an article or something, share it to you, or Facebook Lives, share it to your business page. A great way of getting more people onto your business page is something that I've learned from one of my mentors is, if you, let's say you're doing a Facebook Live and you're doing like your 10 tips, share 5 of them on your personal page. And then at the end of it, mention, in 15 minutes, I'm going to go live on my fan page. Come and join me on my fan page at that and that time. And I will go a little bit more in depth in it, or I will give you the other 5 tips. So bringing people from your personal page to your fan page via Facebook Live, or doing a Facebook Live in a group also, is something that will provide value, that is respected and positively regarded by Facebook, but also by the people that are in your audience.
Yeah.
Another point before I forget, I really want to mention it, is make sure that you have your follow button available. Absolutely. So people can follow you and don't always have to send you friend requests.
Right. Yes.
That is an important feature in Facebook to have on your personal page.
I ran across somebody like that yesterday. I reached out to them months ago, and they finally got to my message request. And I went to their page, no ability to follow them. And I sent her a message back and let her know this. But what she's doing, she's putting out all of this work and really limiting her ability to have people follow her because she's protecting her privacy so much. But that's something that you have to put yourself out there to do. If you're building a business online, you're not going to be private. There are ways to protect your privacy with your friends and your family, which is what you talked about. And folks, if you want to know how to do that in depth, I would say get in touch with Evelyn, and she can help you with that in a group setting or maybe even one-on-one. Have a consultation with her. But by all means, you just don't want to shut yourself off to where it might take months if you even get a response from somebody. I just feel really bad for that person who hasn't really learned that concept yet and realized how much that's hurting her ability to grow her business. So very, very important. I'm glad you brought that up. We talked a little bit about how many groups you should join a day. How about friends requests? I think that there's some issues with that as well, isn't there?
Yes, yeah, it's the same thing. Same thing goes for friend requests. If you are sending friend requests to people that are absolutely not connected to you, if they're not friends of your friends or something like that, Facebook frowns on that quite a bit. And they will send you a message saying, hey, are you sure you want to connect with these people? You don't seem to be connected in any way, shape, or form when you do it too much. I would say the same thing. Don't go above 5 to 10 in the beginning. And moderate it and then increase the numbers. And whenever possible, follow a person instead of sending a friend request. And the reason why I say that is more often than not, people will either follow you back or they will send you a friend request. And then the dynamic is completely different. You can reach out to them when you accept their friend request and have a conversation with them. And you are the one that is in control of the conversation in that circumstance.
Yes, very good. I like that. It's so true. It's just, and then, the other thing I think that Facebook is doing is that there are a lot of fake profiles out there, and there are some ways to tell if they're fake. And do you have some thoughts on that as well?
Yes, definitely. Profiles. Yes.
Kind of like fake news, huh? Well, that's a whole different thing. I apologize, but fake profiles will stay on topic.
Profiles, definitely. I always say, before you follow somebody or send a friend request, go and check out their profile page. Check out what do they have on there. If they have 9 friends only, if their profile page has just been established, if they are a general in the U.S. Army, a pilot, there's so many. Just there are flags, definite flags that you can see, and congruency also. Like, take the time to check out a person's profile page a little bit before you accept a friend request from somebody or send a friend request to somebody. Just because it says that they're network marketing doesn't necessarily mean they really are.
Yeah, just a little side note I wanted to share on that is that I'm pretty aware of that as well, but I had actually responded to I guess it was a fake profile that was in a mutual group that we all belong to, and I had responded to a comment that somebody had made to that particular profile, and there was some malicious code in that profile that infected my computer. So we really do need to be careful. And there was some ugly stuff that ended up on my Facebook page. And Facebook was very kind to help me get that cleaned up. But it took a while to figure that out. So it does happen. And there's just some creepy people out there that do things like that. So it is worth taking the time to check that out.
Yes,
so,
definitely.
Well, we talked a little bit about this earlier, and this is kind of a big piece of information, but you know, Facebook has grown up. It's not an infant anymore. And I'd say it's getting in kind of adolescent stage, maybe not so much there, but with artificial intelligence and with their algorithms just getting, you know, more intuitive about how we behave on Facebook. Facebook really knows much more about us than maybe we know about our own habits and activities. So, you know, it's obvious, besides revenue generations, that Facebook is now encouraging those with fan pages to do Facebook advertising. What's your sense on that? You know, why that's happening?
Facebook has definitely, as you say, has grown up, right? When it first started, I don't think that they ever had the idea how big, how huge social media is going to get. And in the beginning, there were only the personal pages. And as you said, then they brought along the, okay, well, let's allow some businesses on there. Now we have the business pages. And they were really not happy with ads and stuff like that. Well, I think that they have realized that when you bring businesses on, business wants to generate revenue, right? So they have changed their message, and they are now allowing companies to have ads and pay for advertising space. But on the other side, Facebook is also using that information. And as you mentioned, Kristie, they are gathering so much information about what we are doing as users. When you're clicking on something or when you're liking or commenting, that information is all gathered within Facebook. And as a business, it is amazing when you learn how to target your ads that you can run on Facebook and benefit from the millions of pieces of information that they have. Your reach is completely different. Your advertising, your target of your audience is so much more congruent, because you can not only like drill it down to country, but you can drill it down to people that have a habit of purchasing something on through Facebook, that have a habit of commenting, or that have a habit of like whatever profile, whatever action that people can take on Facebook, they are tracked, and you can target your audience to that based on that information. So Facebook has learned that by having that information, they're becoming more and more attractive to businesses that are looking for people that are looking for them. So it is not just blatantly gathering the information. It is making them, Facebook is making itself a valuable resource for businesses so that they can actually find the appropriate person that is looking for that kind of information. And kind of like we're going for YouTube to look for things, how to do things, I go to YouTube, right? If I search for things, well, I have a habit of using Google, right? I'll Google it, right? And Facebook wants to kind of have a little bit of a share of that pie by having advertising that is appropriate to what you are doing as an individual, showing up right in your timeline. Or on your mobile, because there's different ways that you can advertise with them, right? So you have the ads that you can have come up right in your timeline. There's ads on the side. There's ads that will only be showing when you're on the phone, on your mobile. But it will be information that is congruent to the behavior that you are taking when you're on Facebook. And I really think it's a great service that they're putting out there. And I'm looking forward to seeing that evolve, not only from a business perspective, because it has generated quite some income for me for doing that, and some lead generation as well, right? But also from a personal perspective, I am always intrigued to see what is coming up in my timeline, and yeah, just kind of seeing where are they taking it? What is the next steps? Because we know that Mr. Zuckerberg always has some new things up his sleeve. So.
He sure does. You know, you mentioned reach, and we talked a little bit about this offline, and how many people really do get to see your Facebook page. do you have some sense in why that is? You know, and really how many people are allowed to see our page that in an if I can say this, in an organic sense rather than a paid sense? Because when you have a paid ad, they seem to let you see or have more people see your stuff. Do you have any thoughts or comments about that?
I have heard that from a organic perspective, the reach can be as little as 7% of the people that are actually following your page or that are friends in connected with you on Facebook. 7%. That is not a lot of people.
So if you have 100 people following you, that is what, 7 people. Oh my.
Yes. Yeah.
And if you put all this work into putting stuff up on your page and only 7 people gets to see it, that's it's very deflating, isn't it?
It sure is. Now, there are ways that you can change that. And I've briefly mentioned that there is functionalities within Facebook that you can use, something like the Facebook list. If you create on your personal page, if you create a Facebook list and you send a post out to a specific list, the people that are part of that list will see your post.
Right. Very
Facebook ads, on the ad perspective, they are giving a far bigger reach to your ad the longer it runs as well. So there's not just the target that is impacted, but it's the duration that is put on the ad as well that has an impact on how many people will see it and how well your ad will perform. Yeah. So there's the triggers that Facebook has in place that you can learn to deal with and to adjust and to work with, so that your post really does get the views that you want it to get.
Yeah. And, you know, and it does take money to make money. But I found that it doesn't cost much money at all to run a Facebook ad. You know, exponentially much less than if you were to run an ad that is offline, for instance. In fact, I wouldn't even consider doing something like that. And to have it reach a very targeted market and reach thousands of people for, I mean, $5, $10. Has that been your experience as well? Yeah. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, $5 a day, a budget of $5 a day, especially when you're starting out a fan page, and starting out with a likes campaign on Facebook is a great way of just dipping your toes a little bit into the Facebook ad water, right? Just getting used to just a little bit and see how it performs, and learning how to set that up. Use $5 a day. That's the cost of what are the coffees called? The macchiato.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I can't even keep up with the name.
Neither do I. I don't know, but it really is. It is a minimal cost. And one of the questions that I actually ask when I decide to work with a person in my business is, how much money have you set aside to market your business? Like, are they aware that there is a cost to running a business? It is not just buying the product and having your auto ship or the loyalty purchase, as it is called now, right? Set up. There's a cost to having a business, and there's things that you have to do. And nowadays, Facebook advertising should be something that you consider when you're ready to scale your business.
Yeah, I totally agree. Wow, this has been great, Evelyn. I think in a very short amount of time, gave a very good overview of the things that are very necessary in setting up Facebook properly and the reasons why to use Facebook. Is there anything else you'd like to add before we call this a wrap?
Well, a couple of points. One of them is, if you have any questions, reach out to me. I would love to help you. That's actually my mission. My mission is to empower entrepreneurial women to shift their thinking, so kind of like a mind shift thing, and how to market their business online so that you really create that empire that we want to, right? create a successful business. So reach out to me. I'm happy to answer questions and help you out and point you in the right direction, as is Kristie. Kristie is an amazing marketer herself, and I really appreciate having this opportunity to share some of the tips and tricks. Facebook is great. It's an amazing tool. Just as we said, learn how to do it properly and listen to your guidelines, to the guidelines that are out there, so that you really benefit from it the way that it can. It has helped grow my business to a level that I know I would have never been able to take it in such a short period of time if I would have just done my friends and family and my 3-foot rule.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we really do burn out our warm market that way, and that's something we don't want to do. Evelyn, how do people get a hold of you?
Yes, so you can find me on Facebook.
Of course.
Evelyn Keller on Facebook. You can write me an email, evelyn@evelynkeller.com. My website is www.evelynkeller.com. You can reach out to me there and leave me a message as well. As I said, it will be my pleasure. My preferred method is Facebook. Send me a request or a note in Messenger, and I will get back to you and love to interact with you.
Well, thank you so much. And everybody, she really is this bubbly and happy all the time. I mean, it's just, she's a delightful person and a wealth of knowledge. So if you have any questions, I really encourage you to reach out to Evelyn. And if you have some difficulty getting a hold of her, reach out to me and I'll make sure that I get you the information too, so that you can get in touch with her. So Evelyn, thank you so much for your time. I know how valuable it is, and thank you for sharing a little bit of your time with us today. And hopefully we'll get you on here again in the future.
Thanks so much. Have a great afternoon.
Thank you. You too. Bye now.